Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. Well, the Democratic Party is no longer the Democratic Party. They have been fully invaded and taken over by socialists, by communists. And really, to be frank, there isn't a Democratic or even a Republican Party. They've all kind of merged into one globalist party with good people fighting on either side of the fence. But the fact of the matter is the Democratic Party is not the Democratic Party. But we need to wake up to the real truth that this is a communist party, a socialist party. And I'm going to prove it to you. Some of the main goals used in the Communist Manifesto, a manifesto put together by communists in order to accomplish the communist agenda. Well, these kinds of things are being implemented in the Democratic Party. Well, that's not all. Now the Democratic Party has officially elected a socialist, which I'm going to call a communist candidate, because socialism is basically one and the same with communism. Check out this report. And this is on New Zeal, put out June 27th, 2018, and it's titled Democrat Socialist of America, Alexandria Cortez, the communist millennialist face of the Democratic Party. The report goes on to state that Democrat Socialist of America New York candidate Alexandria Cortez won in an upset last night in the primary against incumbent Representative Joe Crowley, a Democrat in New York, in the 14th congressional district there. She is a 28-year-old Latino and the new communist millennialist face of the Democratic Party. Her district spans Queens and the Bronx, and she self-describes as a Democratic socialist. It goes on. Her platform promises the abolishment of ICE and the nationalization of healthcare using a single-payer system. She promises to impeach Trump as well. Other planks include Medicare for all, a universal job guarantee, no tuition for education at schools or universities, paid family and sick leave, housing as a human right, ending the war on drugs, demilitarization of the police, doing away with prisons, open borders, and decriminalization for illegal immigrants, and ... Sounds like a utopian, right? Everything is free. Healthcare free, this free, that. Everything's free. No, nothing is free in that kind of society. There is a price to be paid, and it's a price to be paid by people who have jobs, by people who are working. Imagine 50, 60, 70% of your paycheck cut, used to pay for everyone else who doesn't want a job. What happens as a result? Everyone quits. Nobody wants to work and pay the fees of the other person. Huge problems there. But let me show you another link here of how the Democratic Party is really heading more communist. Check out this report. Now, this is back, it's an older report, but it's back in 2017, and this was put out on the LA Times, but I want to bring it up as a reminder. Being a communist would no longer be cause for losing a state job under a bill that was narrowly approved in an assembly. What is this law saying? Well, it used to be wrong and against the law to be a communist and working even in political offices. Well, now in California, no worries. If you have those political views, welcome in to the good old-fashioned business market. Welcome in to be a congressman, a senator, as you just saw. Our new Bronx communist leader there in District 14. Real quick, before I get back to the broadcast, I just wanted to do a quick shout out to my partner at Virtual Shield, hidewithlisa.com. Please make sure you're getting a VPN, a virtual private network. So when you go on the internet and Google things on the internet, that IP address, that links you to your computer comes out of another location, so nobody knows what you are searching for. Get on a VPN, and it's 30% off at hidewithlisa.com. Okay, back to the broadcast. Communist has taken over the Democratic Party. Let me show you now a manifesto, 45 goals. Now, this is actually a list of communist goals that was revealed by Dr. Cleon Skousen in The Naked Communist. Now, if you've read it, it's on page 259 of that report, but it is also comes from a January 10th, 1963, quite a bit ago. But this is the House of Representatives, and later the Senate. They began reviewing a document entitled Communist Goals for Taking Over America, which included 45 goals of how to take over America. Well, they wanted to review these goals, our House of Representatives, our Senate did, And these are the goals they've established are how to take over America. Now, I'm going to go through some of them, not all of them. I'm going to leave a link below and you can read them all for yourself. But I want to show you the ones that specifically are happening right now or already happened, and hugely in part because of the Democratic Party. The list here, number 1, the United States acceptance of coexistence as the only alternative to atomic war. Everybody get along. We're a happy family, new world order, coexist. Number 3, develop the illusion of total disarmament by the United States would be a demonstration of moral strength, disarming the population. They have that as one of their main cores on the Democratic Party. Disarm, disarm, disarm. Number 6, provide America aid to all nations, regardless of if they're communist or not. This is a sort of spread the wealth around agenda that Obama tried to initiate. But he took our wealth from America, went on an apology tour, and gave our money away, even though we couldn't afford it. Part of this naked communist goals. Number 11, promote the UN as the only hope for mankind. If its charter is rewritten, demand that it be set up as a one world government with its own independent armed forces. Check, check, check. Do they not have a peacekeeping blue hat force? Who, by the way, they hire to disarm the American people? Check. Number 13, do away with any loyalty oaths. Sound familiar to what the NFL has done recently? I am going to kneel and not pay homage to the national anthem. Do away with loyalty oaths. And a majority of them doing that are the Democratic Party. Who supports that? The Democratic Party. Who supports removing the Pledge of Allegiance from our schools? The Democratic Party. Even flags have been outlawed. American flags in some schools. Give me a break. This is a communist move. Going on here, number 15, capture one or both of the political parties in the U.S. 16, use technical decisions of the courts to weaken basic American institutions by claiming their activities violate civil rights. Check. They do that a lot. This whole political correctness war, all apart. Number 17, get control of the schools. Check. 18, gain control of the student newspapers. 19, use student riots to foment public protest against programs or organizations which are under communist attack. Sound familiar? Remember the whole school shootings and David Hogg coming up, protest walkouts in our schools over gun rights, over gun control? They're using our youth and generation to foment a political war, to foment some kind of civil rights movement, anything that's in line with the communist movement. 100% initiated, even more so this year. Number 20, infiltrate the press. 21, gain control of key positions, radio, TV, and motion pictures. They have communist China owns Hollywood. How many actors do you see standing up and standing against President Trump, standing against nationalism? How many actors like Madonna and Johnny Depp saying kill the president and blow up the White House? A lot. How many media personnel are on there spewing lies about our country, supporting a new world order, supporting an international order? MSNBC, CNN, ABC, all of them. MSN, all of them. It's disturbing. 24, eliminate all laws governing obscenity by calling them censorship and a violation of free speech and free press. Eliminate laws governing obscenity. In other words, we don't like your religious stance as a conservative, so we're going to censor you because you're not politically correct. We're going to censor you, well, because you don't have minorities on your channel. We're going to censor you because you view something as evil or wrong, we're going to censor you because you support Trump. That's the kind of stuff. All from 1963, followed to the T today. Moving on a little bit, 25, breakdown of cultural standards of morality. Promote pornography, promiscuity, obscenity in books, motion pictures, television, radio. Check. Number 27, infiltrate the churches and replace revealed religion with social religion. Social justice, right? That's what they've infiltrated our churches with. Let's get rid of religion, get rid of the church because those are moral. We can't have that. Implement social justice warriors in the churches, political people who have a checklist on whether or not you're politically correct in your church. Are you speaking negatively against homosexuality? Gotta mark that down. That's the kind of stuff that they do and they planned on doing since 1963, even before. And take over the church. That's the scary part. A lot of them have been taken over. It's hard to find a good one anymore. 28, eliminate prayer, they have done, or any phase of religious expression in the schools on the ground that it violates the separation of church and state. Remember, Obama went up and gave speeches at university and covered the Christian crosses behind him? A move from the naked communist. Number 29, discredit the American Constitution by calling it outdated and old. 30, discredit the founding fathers, both of which they've done. 31, belittle all forms of American culture and discourage the teaching of American history on the ground that it was only a minor part of the big picture. In other words, push New World Order, globalization via Agenda 21, Agenda 2030 is now what it's called. Push that instead of American history. Check. 38, transfer some of the powers of arrest from the police to social agencies like CPS, like the United Nations, giving that power via the Strong Cities networks. It's given up some of the local cops into the United Nations body. Check. 40, discredit the family as an institution. 41, emphasize the need to raise children away from the negative influence of their parents. Remember, they're saying children don't need to be raised by their parents. No, it takes a community rearing of the children. This is the new idea that they're pushing in the schools from the Democratic Party. And finally, the last one, create the impression that I'm going to share, there's others, but create the impression that violence and insurrection are legitimate aspects of the American tradition, that students and special interest groups should rise up and use united forces to solve economic, political, or even social problems. In other words, use the youth as a reckoning force to rise up. Use riots against America to rise up, like the riots right now. Like Maxine Waters is encouraging people to stand against the president and stand against his cabinet and stand against Trump supporters by not allowing them in their businesses and restaurants. You mean like that? Yeah. The truth is, the Communist Party has been working with the Democratic Party for a while. Check out this report. This is on Washington Times, back from 2015. Communist Party USA working with the Democratic Party is key. How about the Communist Party own admission on their website here? This is an insert that asks the question, why does the Communist Party USA support Democratic Party candidates for the president instead of running their own candidates? Good question. But they say in response, the Communist Party doesn't endorse candidates from other parties, but we are deeply involved in mobilizing people to participate in the elections. The presidential election's not just about candidates themselves. It's about choosing what direction the country is going to go in. So we work with allies in the union movement, in immigration rights and civil rights and environmental and organization of women, the LGBTQ, youth, and retirees with the goal of stopping extremists like Trump and building enough people power to win better jobs, education, healthcare, equality, and peace. If only that were really what they were about. It's complete control. Communist isn't a beautiful thing, and it never ends up that way. I don't know about you, but it's pretty convincing when you see something from 1963, written years, 50 plus some odd years ago, coming to pass today in the Democratic Party. And all of them are happening. In the end, I guess the ultimate decision is up to you. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning into my channel, and please don't forget to check out my partner, Virtual Shield, and get on a VPN at hidewithlisa.com.